Well, hello and welcome to Qlik Spotlight. My name is John Sands. I have the extraordinary great pleasure of having Eduardo Kfouri on the other side of the spotlight lens. He's the Vice President and General Manager of Latin America Sales and Alliances. Welcome, Eduardo.
Thank you very much, John. Nice to be here.
Yes, and nice to have you here as well. So thank you so much for taking the time and getting involved. So General Manager, Latin America Sales and Alliances, and I know your region is slightly different. So explain exactly what your roles and responsibilities are.
Sure. Well, being responsible for the sales in Latin America, my responsibility or my role is to help facilitate the team to be successful. This is a different region. We work a lot with partners, more than other places, and we have a small team. So it's really to help the team to be successful, get there, and grow the business. That's primarily the role.
And you did a very good Christmas message, I must say. Your team did very well on that.
Thank
I was
you.
very impressed. So you mentioned there that predominantly you work with partners. So why is that? What makes the LATAM region different that means that you are working mostly with partners?
Latin America is a very large geography. Uh, just to give an idea, it's about twice the size of the U.S., about twice the number of inhabitants, the
Mm.
population. Uh, when you look at the large cities we have in Latin America, it's over 100 cities over 500,000 people versus 34 in the US. So it's a
Yeah.
very large geography with a small team, and usually uh, people like to buy from local people
Mm.
in Latin America. That's cultural. And there's no way we can have a presence everywhere. And leveraging partners, they are all over. So we have partners in many of those locations,
Mm.
and they are local people talking to the local customers. And so it's not only with Qlik, that's primarily how most of the IT companies work in Latin America is leveraging a partner ecosystem.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have a very strong partner ecosystem, uh, large, about 300 partners. Some of them are very loyal. All they do is selling Qlik. And so it's our extended team. So we have a
Yeah.
small team at Qlik, but we have an army on the street with the partners.
Because that's different, isn't it? Because I know certainly in the region that I'm familiar with, the UK region, a lot of the times customers want to go direct. They'll want to go direct to the company that supplies. They don't want that middleman. So what you're saying then, and is this across Latin America, or is it certain regions that don't want to go direct? They want to use a partner. Maybe it's because they have a relationship with that partner. They're local. Is that what you
Right.
find?
Yeah, right. So I think we have to differentiate the customers. We have the large organizations, the enterprise customers.
Mm,
That's pretty much aligned with the scenario in the UK. They prefer to do business directly with the vendors, and that's why we are changing the model. Since last
mm,
year, we hired some NAMs and we selected a number of large accounts and we're going direct on those accounts. Direct, I mean, we lead the relationship, the strategy for the
yeah,
account, but we're still working with the partners because we don't have enough
the bandwidth.
resources
Yeah,
to
yeah.
really, the bandwidth to cover the opportunities there. So we are working with the partners, but we're leading the strategy. This is a change. We've
Mm.
been doing business in Latin America for about 15 years. Is
Yeah, it's incredible,
the
isn't it?
longest
15
partner,
years.
yeah.
Mm,
And it's the first time that we are touching some customers directly and even selling direct on our
mm,
paper if the customer prefers to do that way. But we have the medium and the medium part of the pyramid, and we have the small and medium customers that really prefer to do business with the local companies. The people,
yeah.
they have the relationship, they're close to them, so if they need anything, it's just call them and they will be on
Mm,
site. And so it's a balance. But
Yeah.
for many, many years, it's been primarily 100% partner, indirect business. Now we are changing the game.
Do you find, and this is just me guessing this, that the companies that want to deal with Qlik direct rather than through partners are internationally diverse companies? In other words, they have offices all over the world. Do you find that's the case or not so?
Yeah. We have both situations. So
Mm.
in most cases, that's right. All of the large organizations have a local presence,
Yeah.
and they're big here. And in those cases, there's a lot of leverage from what comes from their headquarters. But we do have some large local companies, like the largest customer in Brazil,
Mm.
Boticario, is
Ah, yes, I know them. Yeah.
yeah, it's a cosmetics company. They have over 6,000 users of Qlik, very complex architecture, heavy user.
Mm.
It's really a mission critical application for them. It's just not something nice to have. Their sales depend on Qlik every day,
Mm.
and it's local. It's not a global. Well, it's different. They are now expanding to other countries, but their headquarters is here. Like Bimbo, the largest bakery in the world. They have bakeries. They bought a lot of companies all over the
Yeah.
world. In the U.S., they bought Sara Lee, and they bought other
Oh,
companies.
really? Ah, Sara
Yeah,
Lee's huge.
it's a
Yeah.
very it is the largest bakery in the world. It's a Mexican
Mm.
company, headquartered in Mexico. So we do
Ah,
have some cases
yeah.
where the headquarters is in Latin America, but in most situations, it's the way you described. It's global
Mm.
companies with a local presence.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that must be actually, I'm sure it has its challenges, but also very interesting as well to deal in that way. And I know Botticario, they've spoken at Connections before, haven't they?
Yeah, they did. They spoke at Gartner in Brazil.
Yeah.
They are a reference in the market, and it's good to have them as a customer. It's an
And
important
talking of
customer.
connections, and I know this isn't in the questions, but I'll ask it, and I know you'll know the
Sure.
answer. But your presence in at Connections in Dallas this year in May, how many people are you going to be taking, both customers and
Well,
partners?
we last year we had about 400 people, being
That's
300
incredible.
partners and 100 customers. And it's when you think about traveling all the way, like
Yeah, I
going from
know.
São Paulo to Dallas, it's over 10 hours flight. So it's a
Mm,
long trip, spending a week there and
yeah,
being able to take such a large crowd is incredible.
it is
This
indeed.
year we are expecting about the same, maybe a little bit more. We're seeing a little bit of difference, more customers attending.
Mm,
We did not increase the number of partners in the ecosystem. Actually, we reduced a little bit from last year because we selected the most productive and
I
focused on
see.
those
Yeah.
partners. So we may see a little difference in balance, but
Mm.
still expect to take over 400 people. So when you see the big noise, the big
Yeah.
party, because
Yes, I was
Latin
just about to
Americans are
say.
big, yeah, we like parties. So when you
I
see
wouldn't
the
want to see your bar
noise,
bill.
it's it's the team.
I wouldn't want to see your bar bill. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we are going through a journey at Qlik, across the board. All regions are going to be affected, and I think, it's an exciting part of what we're doing as well with this subscription-based selling. Now, how has that been received within your region, and are there any maybe demands that your region has made on Qlik that they feel need improving, perhaps?
Yeah. So we have the internal team with, I would say, it's been received very positively because the market is moving in that direction.
Yeah.
Customers are buying subscription. The major competitors are already on subscription,
Mm.
and they were happy to have the ability to offer both
Yeah.
perpetual and subscription and let the customer decide. This was until the beginning of this year. Now,
Mm.
net new logos are only
Or have to.
subscription,
Yeah.
and I think it's the right way to go. So we are very excited with the change. Uh, the partners were not really on the same page, at least
Mm.
initially. They are still absorbing the change because they traditionally they have a short-term view and they look at their cash flow
Yeah.
and they compare getting all upfront on a perpetual basis and having to spread that over time. Now they see an impact in their business, and they usually are slow to transition. People don't like change, and
No, and they want to see someone else make the change, then they can follow afterwards, isn't it?
it is.
That's
So we are
yeah,
struggling with the partners. We'll get there, but usually it takes a little longer when we are dealing with other companies because they are part of the family, but they are
yes,
not.
yes,
It's a different company.
mm,
They have their own business, and we have to convince them. And it's
of course, yeah.
every day talking to them and doing what we call the evangelization of the
Yes.
partner.
So, is software as a service generally? I mean, are people in your region specifically, obviously, are they going that way? Is it a slow progress towards subscription, or how is the market looking?
I would say when we talk subscription, the market is moving to subscription.
Hmm.
Uh, Not yet on the government customers, so that's a different story. It's
Hmm.
taking longer, so the public bids are not yet coming up with a lot of requests for subscription, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
On the private sector, yes, they are
Hmm.
doing. When you talk SaaS, which is different,
Which
it's
is slightly
us
different, yeah.
hosting. This is
Hmm.
coming up. We are about to announce the new Qlik Enterprise SaaS.
Hmm.
That's a major change for us. And on that, I can tell you that even the partners are very excited.
Oh,
Everyone
good.
is looking forward because that is going to differentiate us against the
Hmm.
competition. And we're very excited to have that offering. So I think that's going to be the major game changer for us.
Yeah, and I've heard that generally, and all that my talks I've had with either sales and pre-sales across the globe, that's been the big golden nugget that people have been waiting
Yeah.
to happen, and it's really exciting that it is now actually happened. There's an email that James Fisher put out, and there's going to be some education around that, and that's fantastic. And then like, there is, and on Qlik, and this isn't a new thing. I think in my 11 years at Qlik, there's always been change, and I love change. I actually do like the fact that my job changes. But we've also now got the Attunity acquisition. What are your thoughts on that?
I I'm very excited because that opens for us a much bigger market to address. It's interesting. We've been talking to some of our partners and large SIs like Deloitte and other local partners
Mm,
like Kairos consultant company. And what they're sharing with us is two-thirds of their analytics business is not on visualization, it's on data management.
yeah, yeah.
And we were not part of that piece of the
Mm,
business. When you think if their numbers are correct, two-thirds, it's a lot. And
yeah.
the acquisition, both the Podium acquisition now with the Qlik Data Catalyst and the Attunity acquisition
Mm.
will bring us to a brand new market to touch. I see very positively. I'm very excited about that. I have some concerns, but I'm sure after the acquisition is finalized,
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
be working on that. It's it is a different business, and our sales team is not totally prepared to have conversations with the customers
Mm.
on data management. They can have the basic conversation, but talking to them and the feedback I'm getting from the team is uh, when it starts to get a little deeper, it is a
Yeah.
much more technical sale. And when the conversation with the customers start to get a little deeper, they're just not prepared. And either they're going to have to take the essays with them on the calls, or we're going to have to prepare them and enable our
Mm.
sales team to have those conversations. So I,
Yeah.
I see as a very good opportunity for us, but also we'll have to be prepared.
Yeah, but even with enablement, I feel, myself, that even when you go on a training course for a week or 2 weeks, you're never going to come out and be able to stand in front of a customer and talk with real knowledge because
Yeah,
you don't have that knowledge, you don't have that experience. So the
yeah,
use of
true.
other people is invaluable. You have to do that. You can't do everything on your own,
Yeah, I
and to
agree.
make a good sale, I think it's important. Do Trinity have a presence in Latin America?
Who? Sorry?
Do Attunity have a presence in Latin
They,
America already?
they have partners here.
Okay.
Uh, we are not allowed yet to talk to those
No, of course
partners.
not.
We're
No,
waiting
no.
for the deal to be finalized, but they do have partners in many countries in Latin America.
Mm, yeah, and that's going to be very useful support for yourself as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
To
and some of those partners, when we look at the website, they are Tableau partners, Microsoft partners.
yeah,
So it's really
okay.
interesting for us to have them
Yes.
also sell and click
That's going to
potentially.
be
So
very
yeah,
interested. I'd like to see that, most
yeah, me
definitely.
too.
That's fantastic. And Eduardo, I would like to talk for ages, as always, when I chat with you, and we'll get a chance to talk at Connections, I'm sure.
Sure,
But I want to know a little bit more about you, and so does the whole of Qlik wants to know a little bit more about you, Eduardo. So we've got some questions here to
sure.
dig a bit deeper into Eduardo Kfouri. So how do you relax? At the end of the day, you're obviously very busy. There's going to be some stress involved in what you do, but how do you relax and wind down at the end of the day?
Well, John, I'm very, very anxious, and it's hard to relax. So
Yeah.
honestly, during the week, I don't relax much. I try to work out in the morning, early morning,
Mm.
before I come to the office. Uh, Not that I like, but I do. It's
No,
important.
no, no.
But it's on the week days is hard. On the weekends, then I try to relax, spend more time with my family, go to
Mm.
the movies, and we love to travel. So sometimes on the weekend, São Paulo is close to the beach, a 1 hour drive,
Nice.
and you are
Yeah.
in a beautiful place. So either we go to one place here. We like to take a vacation at least once a year, the whole family, and do something different. So every year we're looking for new adventures to
Oh,
do. So
excellent.
it's really spending time with the family.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, unless I get an urgent message, I try to relax.
Mm. I think it's important. So when you said you go on holiday, now do you stay within your local area, or where's your favorite location to go off to?
Well, we like to do always something different. So we've been
Mm.
to Alaska this
Oh,
year in
really?
July. We're going to
Yeah.
Iceland. We
Oh,
we
nice.
like adventures. So
Yeah.
yeah, usually our vacation is not in the country. Although Brazil is beautiful, there are many
Yes.
many places to go here. We end up going somewhere else.
I
It's
suppose you want to get away from the heat because
yeah,
it's not exactly cold there, is it?
no, no,
No.
never. It's very hot here. Even in the winter, it doesn't get cold.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you a Kindle person or a book person?
I'm a geek. So I think that that answers the question,
That
John.
answers the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love all of the new technologies, and honestly, I'm a tablet guy because
Yeah.
I like to have everything in one device. So the books are there, magazines, newspaper, email, entertainment. So I usually
Nice.
carry my iPad with me. I think it's easier.
Do you have a type of book that you read? You know, like science fiction or history or thrillers, or what kind of book do
No,
you read?
honestly, I'm not a heavy book reader. I
Hmm.
read some, but I read more articles, white papers.
Ah, I see. Okay. More the short stuff
I
then.
don't have much patience to be sitting and reading a book for a long, long time. So my reading time is short, and then I need to do
Yeah.
something. I'm always very active trying to do something.
Okay. Okay. So, if you could have a dinner or even just go out for a beer with someone famous that you've read about, they alive or dead, it doesn't matter. Who would that be and
Mhm.
why?
Uh, I would say someone that probably not everyone would know. The Europeans would, maybe the Americans would not. But it's Ayrton Senna.
Ah, yes.
He was
Mm,
a Formula One driver.
yes.
He won the championship three times: 1988, 1990, and 91.
Mm.
And when I was young, I used to watch the races every Sunday. He was my hero. He was a guy that, although he was the best at that time,
Yeah.
he was very easygoing guy.
He was Brazilian, wasn't he?
He was Brazilian. He was not
Mm.
arrogant. He was my hero. And
Yeah,
so if I could, I would love to have dinner with him.
that would
Maybe
be
someday. We
amazing.
never know. somewhere.
Yeah, that would be amazing. There's a very good film that he was in, well, called Senna, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
watched that,
they
and that
did the
was,
move. Yeah, he died on May 1st, 1994,
mm,
in Imola, Italy,
yeah,
in a
that was
race
a
there,
sad day,
an
very sad
accident.
day.
Yeah, very sad for us Brazilians.
Yeah, fantastic, and an excellent one. I would agree with you there. That would be a wonderful dinner. So 2019, we're now into April. So we're end of the first quarter. What plans have you got for the rest of the year? Both Qlik and personal, all personal.
Yeah, well, on Qlik, we're going through this journey, a lot of
Mm,
new things for us to explore. Uh, Plans is really growing the business and help the
mm,
team to be successful, make the changes towards being direct to the large enterprise, expanding into new markets with data management. So it's really doing everything possible to grow the business.
yeah.
On a personal side, as I said, I'm already planning my next vacation. It's really relaxed with the family in July and
Yeah.
spend time in Iceland and Norway.
Excellent.
It'll be
Always
nice.
another beautiful place. And you'll be there in the middle of summer, so it
Yeah,
won't get dark at all.
yeah, true.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Well, thank you, Eduardo, again
Hey,
for a
my
wonderful
pleasure. Thank you
conversation.
very much for the time.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And I hope we get time at Connections to sit down and have a beer and talk more.
Me too. Thank you very much,
Enjoy the rest
John.
of your day. Look forward to seeing
You
you
too.
in May and take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.